All right, welcome to Enhanced Smart Skills. So you're getting ready for a big telecom interview, right? And you just know they're going to hit you with that super technical question about core systems. Well, don't worry. Today we're going to make sure you walk in there ready to answer it with total confidence. Let's dive right in.
Okay, picture this. You're in the interview, you're absolutely crushing it, everything's going great, and then, bam, they hit you with this question. It's so specific, so technical, and for a lot of people, this is where that cold panic just starts to creep in. I mean, you know these systems are important, of course, but trying to explain how you'd test one right there on the spot, wow, that is a whole different level of pressure.
But listen, here's the good news. You absolutely do not need to panic. Seriously. The secret to acing these questions, it's not about memorizing some dry textbook definition. It's all about really getting what these systems are for, their fundamental purpose, and having a super clear, structured way to talk about them. And that is exactly what we are going to build for you right now.
Okay, first up, let's tackle Operations Support Systems, or OSS. The easiest way to think about OSS is like it's the engine room of a giant ship, or maybe the backstage crew at a huge concert. It's all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, away from the customer's eyes, that keeps the entire network running smoothly.
So what is it really? Well, OSS is basically the whole collection of software that handles the nitty-gritty technical side of things. We're talking about managing all the network hardware, keeping a close eye on performance, and crucially fixing things the moment they break. It is all about the health and the stability of the network itself.
Okay, so let's put this into practice. An interviewer might zoom in on one specific piece of OSS. They'll say something like, "So what do you know about fault management systems?" This is such a classic question. What they're really doing is testing if you understand what keeps a network reliable.
And here's the key thing you need to communicate. A fault management system. It's not just some passive alarm bell that rings when something goes wrong. No way. It is an active, intelligent system. Its whole purpose is to detect the problem the instant it happens, figure out the root cause, and then immediately kick off a fix. A lot of the time, this happens completely automatically. Its entire reason for being is to make sure service disruptions for you and me, the customers, are kept to an absolute minimum.
So if they ask how you test it, you can lay it out for them, nice and structured. You'd say, well, first I'd verify the alarms. You have to make sure the system is even getting the signal that something's wrong. Then you'd test its isolation capability. Can it actually pinpoint where and why the problem is happening? Super important. Next, you have to validate the resolution. Do those automatic recovery plans actually work? And finally, you check the reporting, because all that data is absolutely critical for making sure the same problem doesn't happen again. See? A perfect, logical answer.
Okay, let's jump to the other side of the coin now. If OSS is the engine room, then Business Support Systems, or BSS, that's the front office. This is everything the customer actually sees and interacts with. It's all about handling the business side of things.
So what does BSS really do? At its heart, it manages the entire customer relationship. It's all the apps that handle customer info, new orders, and, this is the big one, billing and revenue. Let's be real, this is how the company actually makes its money and talks to its customers.
And here is the absolute simplest way to remember the difference. This is a golden nugget for your interview, by the way. OSS is network-facing. It cares about the tech, the routers, the signals, the uptime. BSS, on the other hand, is customer-facing. It cares about people, their accounts, their orders, their bills. Now, these two have to work together perfectly, like a well-oiled machine, but their focus? Totally different.
All right, get ready, because here comes the other monster interview question, this time all about BSS. They'll ask you to describe how you test a billing system. And you've got to know, billing is the absolute heart of the business. It's the direct line between the service they provide and the money they earn. An error here, it's not just some tiny glitch. It's a direct hit to the company's bank account and, maybe even worse, to customer trust.
Now, the purpose of a billing system might seem kind of obvious, right? It sends bills. But breaking it down for the interviewer shows you really get the mechanics. Think about it. First, it has to record every single bit of usage, every call, every megabyte of data. Then it has to apply the right rules. Is the customer on the basic plan, the premium plan? Do they have a discount? After that, it has to generate an invoice that's perfectly accurate and easy to understand. And finally, it has to process the payment. Every single one of those steps is a place where things could go wrong.
So how would you test it? Yes, follow that exact same logical flow we just talked about. First, you validate the usage data coming in from the network. Is it even being captured correctly? Next, you'd hammer the rating engine. I'm talking about testing every single plan,
every promotion, every weird edge case you can think of. Then you obsess over the final output, the invoice itself. Is it 100% perfect? And last but not least, you test the payment systems to make sure the money is going where it's supposed to and that customer accounts get updated correctly. Okay, so at this point, you've totally nailed the specifics of OSS and BSS. But how do you take your answer from good to unforgettable? How do you show them you're a real pro? Well, you do that by talking about the bigger testing principles that tie everything together.
This right here is your expert-level move. You can mention that on top of the specifics, for any major telecom system, you'd always consider these 4 key areas. You've got integration testing, which is just vital because OSS and BSS have to talk to each other seamlessly. Then there's performance testing, which is non-negotiable. Can the system handle a massive flood of traffic without crashing? Security testing, that's a given. We're talking about protecting tons of sensitive data. And finally, end-to-end testing, which proves the whole customer journey works, from the moment they sign up to the moment they pay their bill.
And honestly, this is the mindset that's really going to set you apart. See, a great tester understands the system they're working on, but an expert tester, they understand the entire ecosystem. They see how that one system fits into the giant puzzle, how it impacts everything else, the business, and most importantly, the end customer.
All right, let's put this all together into one perfect package. We're about to give you a simple, super powerful, and totally repeatable framework you can use to structure your answer for any question about any telecom system they throw at you.
And here it is, your 4-step winning answer. It's so simple. Step 1, define the system. Just a quick, clear sentence. Step 2, state its purpose. Why does this thing even exist? What problem does it solve? Step 3, outline your strategy. Lay out those logical, step-by-step testing points we just covered. And finally, step 4, and this is the real game changer, explain the impact. This is where you connect your work as a tester back to the big picture stuff that the company cares about. Network reliability, happy customers, and making money. This shows you're not just a techie, you're a problem solver who understands the business.
And just like that, that's how you take a really tough technical question and turn it into your moment to absolutely shine in that interview. It's all about understanding the why, having a clear structure, and connecting your work to the bigger picture. You are going to be more than prepared. Hey, if this was helpful for you, please make sure you subscribe to Enhance Smart Skills because we've got a lot more career-boosting tips coming your way. Thanks so much for watching.